Hello, lovely souls. It's Nancy from Astrology and Angel Mediums today with a little deck unboxing of a deck that I've had for a little bit of time now, but it is very unique, and so I wanted to share with you guys. Today I'm going to be talking about and showing you guys the Making Magic Oracle by Priestess Moon. Now, this is published from Rockpool Publishing. And essentially, this is a deck to kind of help you utilize like magical symbols. And so there's a lot of like sigils and other little like magical symbols on each of these cards. And so these are really great, especially if you are, a budding practitioner for like various like witchcrafts studies or things like that. It's very inspirational in that way. You don't have to actually utilize the specific symbols that are on here, but they can kind of help you develop your own practice for sigil creation and things of that nature. So this is a 36 card deck. As you can see, it's a very nice box. It does have a magnetic clasp, which is nice. Not a lot of stuff going on inside of the box, just regular kind of thing. And the one unique thing about this deck in specific is that the cards are round. And there's no gilded edges or anything like that. As you can see, mine has been well loved, and so it is a little bit warped just from use. I just think that it's a very interesting deck to utilize and add into my practice. If you've watched some of my pick-a-pile videos or shadow work reading videos on here, you may have noticed that I have used this deck on there before. So this has a very nice guidebook with information and kind of like how to utilize the deck, how to cleanse your space, different things that you can add into the practice of utilizing this deck. And so there's different layouts as well. And so these are supposed to be medieval talismans and amulets. I love the different offerings that I have seen from Priestess Moon, like her Deadly Apothecary deck. And then also I have her Enchanted Spell Oracle. I think she has a couple other decks that I don't have, but I ended up finding this at a shop in Denver, Colorado called Herbs and Arts. And I just thought it was a unique deck, and I was like, I'm going to get that. I kind of tend to go for the unusual things that I see. So like, as you can see in the guidebook, it's full color. There's some fun little things. It kind of tells you like what the symbols are, and also kind of how to utilize the symbol with the history, the divination, and then also how to tune into that energy. So, and the tree of life is going to be the symbol on the back of the cards. And so it's just a very unique deck in that it's not something I have seen too much of. I actually have never really seen anybody else use this deck. But I just think it's such an interesting thing. And there's so many old symbols that I'm like, I've never really figured out what that means. I just kind of know like the name of it. So like I've seen the triple spiral around. I didn't really know what it was for. We've seen labyrinths, the elements, calling on spirit. And then there's the sigils that... So there's like the Philosopher's Stone. And then there's also sigils that Priestess Moon came up with and has added on here. And if you have some of her other decks, like I have the Enchanted Spell Oracle, and I've also used to own the Deadly Apothecary deck. I just wasn't using it. So I usually try not to I'm trying to be not a minimalist, because I still have 150 or so decks in my collection, but I'm trying not to be a collector in the sense of just having things just to have them. So I ended up passing that deck along to someone else that can maybe really truly utilize the energy of that deck. But there's different symbols that Priestess Moon has kind of added in here to kind of add some extra depth and layer. And so I really do like this. If you're someone that likes symbolism or utilizing symbols in different ways, it's nice because it can kind of inspire you to create your own sigils and things like that. And so here we have the bibliography with references within the guidebook. And then also information from Priestess Moon. So she's an Australian artist. So I'm just going to show you guys the cards. They're not in order or anything, so you guys can kind of like just see how they are and just kind of get a feel for what the symbols truly are. So again, I have used this deck over and over again. I did not feel like putting it in order, but here's that wishes come true. And it's just interesting. It's not gold, but it is it looks like it should be gold. But a fun, unique deck for those that are interested in having some fun or different additions to their working, or maybe someone who is wanting to work a little bit more with symbolism or wants to understand some of these medieval symbols in a little bit more of a modern kind of take for it. I'm sure a lot of us have seen this protection sign and symbol on things. So it's just fun. I think it's a great little deck. The cards aren't super thick, probably a little bit thinner than I'm used to, and I think that's why they have held the bend. And I guess you can fold them back. It is a little awkward. So I got cut off, so I don't remember what I was talking about. But as you guys can see, this is a wonderful deck for connecting to different symbolism, maybe inspiring your own sigil creation and making so that you can utilize different sigils, or even just for like journaling or a grimoire, things like that, which I think are always like fun to kind of have a little bit of this kind of symbolism to add into your practice. Or even if you're like someone like me that likes to do protection work on my space, and sometimes I'm like, I just want to utilize a little bit like salt and water to kind of draw sigils on the different pathways and doorways in my space, or even like in my vehicle. It's nice to have something to kind of inspire you if that is something that you tend to struggle with or haven't really had a lot of what's it called? Inspiration, I guess, on what you should use, or if it's hard for you to kind of create your own sigils, or if you're trying to add another layer to your sigils. So with these being round, it is a little awkward to shuffle, and I haven't really found a good way to like, that one went flying. It's funny, self-confidence. To kind of utilize these a little bit better. So here we have the goddess and triple spiral. So again, I think it's an interesting deck. Let me know what you think of this deck. Is this a deck that you would add into your collection? Do you like round decks? That is something I've only had a few over the years, and I think this is the only round deck I still have. I've gotten rid of all the other ones just because they're a little awkward, and I feel like I can't really shuffle. As you can see, I'm struggling to shuffle these the way that I would like, in a way that feels cohesive. So I don't think that I would pull these out with like a client. So we have Abracadabra with Wings, Fantastic Good Fortune, and Lucky Chances. So they're fun. It is kind of a shiny, I'm sorry if you can hear my dog snoring right now. It is a shiny finish on the cards. So if that is something that, whatever, you can see all the fingerprints and things like that from me using this deck. So if that is something that like you're not a fan of, do keep that in mind. But let me know what you guys think. And is this a deck you've ever heard of or have ever used? Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Bye.